In these problems, we're being asked to solve a system of two equations. So it's two equations with two variables. And we want to solve for both x and y. And we're being asked to use the substitution method. And this works particularly well if you have one of the equations solved for one of the variables. So you can see the second one, we have y equals 4x. What that means is, wherever you see y in the other equation, you can substitute 4x. So to solve this, we're going to substitute 4x in for this y up here. What that will give us is an equation with just x's. That we can solve. Let me show you how we do that. So let me rewrite this first equation, 3x, and then instead of minus y, it'll be minus 4x, because that is y. And then we have our equals 2. So that's just that first equation with the 4x substituted in for y. Now we can just combine the like terms here. 3x minus 4x, that would be a negative 1x, and that equals 2. And if a negative x equals 2, well, we can solve this by dividing by negative 1. We would get x equals negative 2. We're not done yet, though, because we only have one of the variables. If we want to get the other variable, we can take this negative 2 and plug it in for x in either one of these equations. I'm going to plug it into this lower one, y equals 4 times x. So this would be y equals 4 times a negative 2, or y equals negative 8. Sometimes when you write your answer for this, you're asked to put them in an ordered pair. So that would be the x term, or the x number first and the y number second. So it would be in parentheses negative 2 comma negative 8. Let's try one more like that. Okay, so here we have two equations, two variables. This one is solved for y, the second one, so we know we can substitute this chunk in for y. I'm just going to put this in parentheses. This is a chunk with a couple of terms, so it's important to put the parentheses around it just to avoid confusion. We're going to plug that in wherever we see y up here, which is right there. So let's go ahead and rewrite that equation. We'd have 3x plus 2 times y, so this would be 2 times negative x minus 1. That's our y. And then we have an equals negative 4. Okay, the first thing I need to do here is distribute the 2 across this parentheses. So we would get, well, here's our 3x, and 2 times negative x is going to be a minus 2x. 2 times negative 1 is minus 2, and that equals negative 4. So a 3x plus a negative 2x, 3x minus 2x, that's just x. So I've got x minus 2 equals negative 4. And then to solve for x, I just need to add 2 to both sides. And we're going to get x equals negative 2. Now, let's go ahead and solve for y by taking this negative 2 and plugging it in up here. So let me put it in this y equals negative x minus 1. If I do that, I would get y equals, here's my negative sign, and then I'm going to have a negative 2 in for x, and then minus 1. So that would be our equation right there. A negative 2 is a positive 2, so y equals positive 2 minus 1, or y just equals 1. And if we want to write that as an ordered pair, we'd have our x first, and then our y, and that would be our answer. So that's a little bit of work with using substitution to solve a system of equations.